Well, in this chapter so far on light, you've spent some time learning about objects that give off their own light or objects that merely reflect light from something else, so either luminous objects or illuminated objects. You've also spent some time learning about words such as transparent and translucent and opaque, and those words all refer to how much light will actually go through a particular object. The next several days, we're going to be spending time talking about color. And specifically, we're going to break that into two categories. We're going to talk about colors of light and colors of pigment. Now, if you've been in art class before, you were probably told that the three primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. And so that's where you're talking about colors of paint or colors of pigment. But in this lesson right now, we're talking about the primary colors of light. And the colors of light, the primary colors of light, are not the same as the primary colors of pigment. The way that we determine what the primary colors of light are is that there were some studies done into how the human brain perceives light. And the cones in our eyes are the pieces that of our eyes that actually perceive light and perceive color. They get certain wavelengths that hit them, and then our brain mixes those different colors together, and then we perceive all the different colors that we see. And what scientists had determined was that the three primary colors that the cones in our eyes can distinguish are red, blue, and green. So again, these are the primary colors of light. Don't think about paint, because you'll just mix yourself up if you do that. And we'll talk about pigment a little bit later. So three primary colors of light, red, blue, and green. And so then if I mix those colors together, I will get secondary colors. So what you need to think about is like if you took a flashlight and you put a piece of cellophane over the top of it, a piece of pure red cellophane, and then if you put a piece of pure blue cellophane on another flashlight, and you shone those two flashlights so that the colors would be on top of each other, you would get a color called magenta. If you mix blue and green together, you get a color called cyan. And if you mix red and green together, you're going to get yellow. Now, these three colors, depending on what kind of printer you have, you may notice that printer ink will come in these colors as well. I know in my printer actually takes 4 cartridges. It takes a black cartridge, and then it takes a magenta cartridge, a cyan cartridge, and a yellow cartridge. And again, we'll talk about ink and printers and paint and pigments a little bit later, but just be aware that these are the same colors so if those colors look familiar, that may be where you've seen those terms quite a bit before. Okay, so 3 primary colors of light, red, blue, and green, and then we mix these 3 colors to get the secondary colors. And as you're going to discover in one of the labs that I have for you to do, you'll discover that we can take any different amount of all of these different colors of light, and we can make every single color under the rainbow. One other thing that you need to be aware of is that if I mix red and blue and green all together, I am going to end up with white. Now again, that's not true for pigment, but it is true for light. And if you think about the lab that you did a little while ago, where you took the white light that was coming in the window, you were able to split that light apart into its wavelengths to make a rainbow. And so if you would take the rainbow and split it up, you're going to have the 3 primary colors of light. And so then adding all the main primary colors of light is also going to give you white. Okay, so you'll be answering some questions on that today, and then be doing a lab where you're going to investigate all of the different combinations of all of these different colors of light.